thought for the day. Self-acceptance is truly a heroic act. Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina Aina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being. In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we discuss setting goals while also releasing our expectations of the outcome. Have a listen.
So, when you have expectations, you expect for life to go a certain way, or maybe you expect for something to happen. If that doesn't happen, then you'll feel mad, frustrated, disappointed. For example, if you have a boyfriend and you expect him to be a certain way or do certain things for you, like celebrate your anniversary, and then he doesn't, then you're obviously gonna be mad, disappointed, or whatever negative emotion it brings out of you. And the only reason you feel that is because you have that expectation set in place. So the exercise we can do that can really help all of us is to notice when you have expectations in life, write it down, and then ask yourself, where did this expectation come from? Why did I believe this in the first place? Is this true? Is this necessary? If it's not, that's okay. Rather than having all of these expectations for ourselves, for other people, and for life, practice radical acceptance for what is. So I'm going to break down radical acceptance into 3 categories, like self-acceptance, acceptance of others, and then acceptance of the world as it is. So first, self-acceptance. Practicing radical self-acceptance is probably the biggest exercise that you can do. If you were brought up to perform or achieve or be a certain way, this exercise is going to help you so much, because you have to learn to unravel all of these expectations that maybe in the beginning other people put on you, but eventually it became your own voice. So whether it's your expectation on yourself to be productive, to hit a certain goal, to feel a certain way, to look a certain way, to be a certain way, these are unnecessary at the end of the day. The positives of having expectations is that sometimes it is helpful to set a goal because you're more likely to achieve it. But the people who need to learn radical self-acceptance are the people who set high expectations for themselves, and often if they don't achieve it, then they put themselves down, they feel bad about themselves, they're frustrated, mad, disappointed, sad, depressed even. That is why this is so important to recognize and heal. These expectations that I'm talking about are not just on the surface, they go real deep, ingrained in you since you were a toddler. So for example, if you were raised and people told you, good job, gold star, you get an A+, and that's good, you might grow up to think that achieving and success means good. It means that you're worthy, it means that you're loved and people approve of you. And so you can tend to take that in so hard that you attach your feeling of worthiness, of love and approval with being an achiever and getting that A and being that, person that has everything on her plate and does everything. Someone with that level of expectations on herself is not healthy. It's not gonna end well. So if you notice yourself being hard on yourself for not being something other than what you are right now, learn radical acceptance. Accept everything that you are right now. Accept your bad habits. Accept your flaws. Accept that this is all who you are. You're a complex human being, but it's those complexities, it's those contradictions that make you beautiful. You're not meant to be perfect. You're not meant to always be the overachiever. You're not meant to get it right all the time. It's easy to accept yourself when you're feeling happy and grateful and everything's going well, but you also have to learn to accept yourself when you're at your low points. It is okay to have emotional range. It is okay to feel all the ups and downs of life. You're not meant to be up here all the time. One of the lowest points of my life was when I was a senior in college, and the year after I graduated from college, that time period, I was depressed. I was so unmotivated in life. I was just not able to wake up, not able to be punctual with friends. I don't know, I was struggling, I was frustrated with myself, and life was hard at that time. And looking back, I realized a big part of why I was suffering at the time was because I had this expectation for myself oh, you're supposed to be a girl who knows what to do. You're supposed to have your life together. You're supposed to be doing well in life. You're supposed to be having a good job. You're supposed to be like having a plan, having a 5-year plan. And I didn't have any of those things. I didn't have things figured out. I was a mess. I was trying, but it felt like the whole world was against me at that time. Although there were external factors like my parents pressuring me and arguing with me, a lot of that frustration came from within. It came from my expectation that I was supposed to be the certain way and I wasn't, so thus I must have been a failure, or I don't know. It was just like that disconnect between expectation and reality was what caused the suffering. Going back, if I had learned radical self-acceptance at that time and learned to just accept the uncertainty and embrace it and know that, you know, no one knows what they're doing at that time in life. In hindsight, everything does happen for a reason, so I don't regret going through that. I'm definitely grateful for that period of my life. But like objectively, if I had some tools and exercises at that time, I didn't have to suffer as much as I did. Moving on to the next section, learning radical acceptance for others. So this just means that you learn to accept other people for who they are and not what you expect them to be, not anything other than who they are. It also means that you accept people for what they do and what they have done in the past, even if it hurt you, especially if it hurt you. This is something that will help your relationships so much because instead of expecting people to be a certain way or do certain things, you just learn to accept them for who they are and what they are right now, what they do, what they bring to the table without trying to force them. And a big part of learning to heal from when others have hurt you is learning to accept it, learning to accept them, accept that it happened, and eventually, hopefully, be able to forgive.
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.